video is going to provide a brief overview of how to fill out the natural resources portion of the SWEP Type 2 CE form. Similar to other sections of the form, you will first choose whether or not there are significant impacts to natural resources. Natural resources is an all-inclusive term pertaining to the following topics: protected species and habitat, wetlands and other surface waters, essential fish habitat, floodplains, sole source aquifer, water quality and stormwater, aquatic preserves, outstanding Florida waters, wild and scenic rivers, and coastal barrier resources. If you anticipate that there will be significant impacts to natural resources, the form will display a red information box notifying you that this project cannot proceed as a Type 2 CE, and you should contact the Office of Environmental Management. If there will not be significant impacts, proceed with filling out the form below. Throughout the form, you will find buttons indicating Find Technical Materials or Add Attachment. Find Technical Materials will provide a reference in the PDF version of this form and include the material in the project file. Alternatively, adding an attachment will attach the documents to the form and also include it in the project file. The natural resource evaluation should be added as a technical material at the beginning of this section. Technical materials can be added by either selecting Choose Existing File or Upload New File. Be sure to provide a name to the technical material or attachment. The name can be provided in the Add Title or Brief Description box. Also include a publication date. The NRE only needs to be linked once and not needed in each individual section, for example, protected species, wetlands, and EFH. For the protected species and habitat section, select either present or not present. If there will be an enhancement, also check the enhancement box. If the protected species and habitat are not present, select not present and a standard statement will be included and no summary is needed. If protected species and habitat are present, a detailed summary in the text box must be provided. In this section, a list of all potentially occurring species, plants, and/or critical habitat should be included, as well as effect determinations for each. In this discussion, explain how the effect determination was reached. For example, if you are determining to have a no effect on a species, explain why. Is it because there is no suitable habitat present, or the species is not known to occur within the project area, etc.? Be sure to include a summary of proposed measures to avoid, minimize, or mitigate adverse effects to protected species and habitat. Include any relevant commitments being made. These will also be listed out at the bottom of the natural resources section. And include any dates of field surveys and dates of coordination or concurrence with external agencies. With each text box, there is a preview button, which will display a PDF preview of the section as it would appear in the Type 2 CE form. Here you can see the text that we just entered into the text box displayed as it would in the PDF. Attachments relevant to the protected species and habitat section include but are not limited to maps showing wildlife observations, habitat maps, concurrence and coordination letters, and any species protection measures if applicable. Examples of supporting technical materials include NRE addendums or other agency correspondence. The next topic in the form is wetlands and other surface waters. Similarly, you must pick whether wetlands and/or other surface waters are present or not, and if there is an enhancement. A summary is only required for wetlands and other surface waters if they are present. The summary needs to include discussion of survey methodology, a description of wetland impacts including quantification of functional loss, the wetlands finding, and compensatory mitigation options. Be sure to include a summary of proposed measures to avoid, minimize, or mitigate adverse effects to wetlands or other surface waters. If mitigation is required or anticipated for this project, you must include the Wetland Mitigation Standard Statement found in Part 2, Chapter 9 of the PD&E Manual. This link is conveniently linked above. Summarize any coordination with external agencies as well. Attachments supporting wetlands and other surface waters include maps depicting wetlands and anticipated impacts. Technical materials could include additional correspondence with external agencies and UMAM forms unless they are already provided in the NRE. As a reminder, the NRE, if linked above at the beginning of the section, does not need to be provided here. The final section we will go over in this video is the essential fish habitat section. Again, you must either select present or not present and check if there is an enhancement. If EFH is present, an additional selection must be made, whether there will be an adverse effect or no adverse effect. The standard statement will reflect the option that you select. For either option, a detailed summary of EFH involvement and consultation must be provided. Be sure to include a summary of proposed measures to avoid, minimize, or mitigate adverse effects to EFH and any relevant commitments. Include FDOT's determination regarding the potential adverse effects on the project on EFH. For example, minimal, more than minimal but less than substantial, or substantial. The date of correspondence from National Marine Fisheries Service should be included. Attachments relevant to EFH include correspondence from National Marine Fisheries Service and any maps. Skipping down to the bottom of this page is commitments. You will find the appropriate place to list out natural resources commitments in this section. To add a commitment, click Add Commitments. When the text box appears, enter just one commitment. For each additional commitment, you must click Add More Commitments. For guidance on commitments, see Part 2, Chapter 22 of the PD&E Manual. To preview your Type 2 CE, first click Save Draft. Then click the PDF button at the top of the page. We will quickly demonstrate this, showing the topics we have covered in this video. Here you'll see the cover page for your project, and as we scroll down, you'll see the table of contents where we'll navigate to our natural resources section. Here you'll see the different texts that we entered in the associated sections, as well as any standard statements that were included as part of the form. Next, we'll scroll down to the commitments showing you how the commitments are displayed in the form. They are numbered automatically based on how they are entered into the form. Next, we'll demonstrate how the technical materials are referenced in the PDF. Here you'll see that they're just listed out, and these would be included in the project file. Next will be attachments, and these are attached to the rest of the PDF form. This will be the conclusion of this video. We will not go into detail about other topics within the natural resources section as part of this video. Guidance on other topics can be found in Part 2 of the PD&E Manual, or contact the Office of Environmental Management directly for additional questions. Thank you.